You met with an accident, go to a doctor, get a disability certificate, any doctor. That will not be a disability certificate valid for the purpose of this Persons with Disability Act. Under section 2P, as I remember, I have not very seriously looked into the specific provisions before coming here, because I just wanted to share some of the cases which I have dealt. It says medical authorities, specified by notification medical authorities, and those medical authorities will constitute medical boards, and those medical boards will only those medical boards will be entitled to issue certificate, those will be valid. For 8 years nothing happened, and in fact I filed a public interest litigation in Delhi High Court, because I found that in one case, in one resettlement colony where one government hospital is there, many persons with disability were approaching that hospital for disability certificate, and there was a board which was constituted by the government of Delhi for purpose of recruitment, as it has been happening for several years, that government employee has to go to the medical board for checkup. People were thinking that this is a medical board for disability certificate also. They were approaching, and they said, we don't have a orthopedic expert in this board, and therefore we are not entitled to issue any certificate. The medical superintendent wrote a letter to the Secretary of Health saying that please depute some orthopedic expert in the board so that we may be able to issue certificates. He has not received any reply for 1 year. Even after 1 year he did not receive a reply. When I looked into the papers, I thought that this is a very serious problem. In fact, I was at that time not conscious of those, that there should be medical authorities, and medical authorities must have not been created by the government. This fact I was not aware. I thought, as usual, we think that if there is a law, there is a government, it must be working, it must be following law, it must be doing whatever they are required to do. But I thought that all hospitals, government hospital, maybe central government or Delhi government or municipal hospitals, should be entitled to issue this disability certificate, so that persons with disability should not run to far distances places again and again and face harassment. With that point of view, I filed that case that medical expert on orthopedic has not been appointed to the board and the hospital is unable to give. Please do something. During the course of those proceedings, I realized that the government has not yet issued any notification constituting medical authorities. And since medical authorities have not been constituted, there is no question of medical boards. And then what happened, when this point was raised in that case, a dispute between two ministries started. One is Health Ministry, another is Social Justice Ministry. And the government lawyer told the High Court that we have not been able to sure which authority, which ministry has to issue that notification. Because Social Justice said this Health Ministry has to issue, and Health Ministry wrote a letter that you have to issue. After about 8-9 years, this controversy was going on. This is the concern. This shows how much the government is concerned. And therefore we have to be very, very blunt in this regard if we really serious about achieving our rights. Then what the High Court did? High Court passed an order saying secretary of both the ministries should be present here on the next date of hearing. We will sort out who will issue. And then on the next date of hearing, the health ministry issued a notification saying these are the central hospitals specified as medical authorities. And the High Court in its judgment said that it is a car which has not yet started. Ignition has not worked. This is 8-9 years after that has not happened. Then by notification it started. Still I feel that that notification does not cover all the hospitals. What I propose that when you go to your own states, you check up how many hospitals are covered. Because to my mind, all hospitals should be entitled to issue certificate. All hospitals means all government hospital, municipal hospital. This is one case. And others we deal with the education. Education, because that is my field in which I am very seriously working. I know the vulnerable position of the children with disability. Now the background paper which has been circulated says about 2 crore children according to 2 crore persons with disability suffering people. But I came across a letter of 1999 of HRD minister written to the different states, which says that there are 2 crore children with disabilities in this country and less than 1% are going to school. This is the state of affairs in 1999. I don't think much improvement has taken place because the conditions, same conditions are still prevailing. In a case where we were dealing with the appointment of teachers, all of a sudden it stuck to my mind. I told the judge that the children with disabilities have no facilities like ramps, special toilets in the schools. At that time also I thought how it is possible that it is not there. But I raised it, and later on I came to know that not even a single school of the government or the municipal authority have such facility. Moreover, the buildings, school buildings which were being constructed at that time, even those provisions were not being followed in that. It is only after High Court intervened in the matter that in some of the schools, not even, I think not more than 15-20% of the schools have this facility. But I have seen that even new buildings coming up with this RAM and some special toilets. This is one angle of this education problem, and if this is happening in capital of India, what is happening in other states? The point is that vulnerable section belongs to the weaker section. Those who are rich, they manage to get admission somehow here and there. Many private schools are running their facilities for this. But in regard to the children with disability belonging to weaker sections, even government schools are totally insensitive. I think more work has to be done. And even, of course, we say girls are vulnerable, but I think children with disability, if we take it as a class, is the most vulnerable section as far as education is concerned. And if education, you don't give education to the children, the other things in regard to education and other things will not be relevant. It is only education which can, I think, a child or a person can stand up for future. I will also tell you few other cases so that you can get an idea. Let us talk about this prevention and early detection of disability. One chapter deals with that. I don't think government has done much except in polio cases, where also so many questions are being raised. The government has done much. And in this case also, I am told by one of my friends talking today morning, that in case of this hearing impairment, 75% problem come up because of lack of medical care after birth. Because these public health centers are not equipped, they don't care. And 25 it comes with when the child is born, and that is also preventive. So this problem is highly preventive, and if the government acts in terms of this provisions of the act, I think it can be minimized. Now there is one provision which says that every year there will be screening of the children. Every year there will be a screening of children. It has never happened. It has never happened. I think some voice has to be raised. There is another, as far as education is concerned, there is one provision that is called Section 30, which talks of preparing a comprehensive education scheme for children with disability. Though it is a mandate of the law for the government, but they did not come up. Same thing. What we are learning, that if you don't you say push the government will not move, and to the extent you move, it will move, and then it will stop. So we have to be very active in keeping them moving until and unless this entire approach is changed, entire system is changed, and their mindset is changed, and system started working in itself. I think even thereafter we have to keep a very strong watch on that. They did not do it, and we filed a public interest litigation, and then also in that case also this problem comes, whether this scheme has to be notified by the Ministry of Education, this is HRD Ministry, or by Social Justice Department. And you see the mindset of the government, that again High Court has to issue a order saying that secretaries of both the ministries, HRD and the Social Justice, should be present on the next date of hearing. And only thereafter, I think you people may, knowing it or not, I think 4th November 2004, in this notification came up detailing the scheme of this education for children with disability. And I don't think the people know about it, or even if people know about it, anything further has happened. So the burden on us, what I mean to say, is more and more, if we really want something change. There was one more case, very interesting, I would like to share. One girl, Muslim girl, Sholay, who was 60% paralytic. She got about 86% marks in class 4 in UP, in a school in UP. She is Muslim, one. Second factor is that she lives in Jhuggi Jhopadi. She is a daughter of a rag picker, and on the above she is disabled. She got this mark, and she came back to her house, and since she was the only girl in the family who got the education through some help of NGO, she asked her parents that she will continue to study. She was taken to the municipal schools of Jahangirpuri, that is resettlement colony of Delhi. None of the school took her, saying that you appears to be above age, over age. That was the ground. But I think it was disability which was not, which was coming in the way of her admission. And when I filed a petition in the High Court. High Court issues notice. Then on the next day, the school management, entire school, teacher and the headmistress went to her house, say, come and take admission. And then she said, all right, I will ask my Ashok uncle whether I should go to school or not. Then she telephoned me. I said, no, it is not a prestige issue. You please go and get admission. And not only she, there were large number of other children who were denied admission in such a manner that all of them got the admission in the school. And there was a change in there is a shift in the policy itself, that age is no bar, number one. Second, disability is no bar for admission. We are in this 21st century and we have to fight and we have to tell the government about all these things. These are looks like very funny also to me. But you have to do, because without that, employment case also, one is hearing impairment case I did, that was a scientist, I think B grade or A, class A or B, against Defense Ministry, DRDO department, and he was selected by the board in a journal, not in a quota, a reservation, and after he was selected, his case was sent for medical examination. In medical examination, they did not apply the relaxation formula. There he said that I am person with disability, hearing impairments. They did not apply, and ultimately he was denied appointment. Then I took up this matter with Commissioner with Disability, and Commissioner with Disability passed an order saying that he is entitled to be appointed. And what argument this DRDO gave, that if he is put on the border and there is a war, then he will not be able to hear anything, and therefore, sorry. Anyhow, the order was passed. As you know, that the commissioner has no power for enforcement. It is just like a man without tooth. Then what I did, I filed a petition. I filed a petition in the High Court basing the order of commissioner, saying that he should be given appointment. Then High Court issued notice, and it was only after High Court issued notice and media took up, highlighted it, the appointment was given, and now that gentleman is working. Then we did also one case that about affirmative action, that is scheme for reservation and concession in plots. Earlier there was no concession at all for the persons with, there is section 43 which talks about both reservation and concession. The government at one point only thought that there is no provision for concession, only reservation. It talks of reservation. Even they themselves made the law. They don't want to. Either they don't read it or they don't understand what it is there. It was High Court. I was thinking that Justice Bhatt will be here. In fact, Justice Bhatt has passed the orders, and he directed that you are under mandate under this act to frame the scheme. Then ultimately, very recently, I think a month or two, the government came up with a scheme. Of course, that will technically apply to Delhi because it was Delhi Development Authority scheme which was approved by the central government, and central government has issued the notification about that. But I think that by implication it can be applied to all over the country, which says that in case of shop there will be a 5% reservation. Earlier it was only 1%, and in case of plot or the flat, it was earlier also 1%, it remained 1%. But on account of concession where there was no provision earlier, the scheme says that 5% rebate will be given on purchase of shop, plot or flat to the maximum of 1 lakh rupees. 1 lakh rupees to the maximum 1 lakh rupees. It means if you purchase a flat, government flat for 20 lakh rupees, you will get 1 lakh rupees. Of course, to my mind, it should not be less than 10%, as it was proposed by Delhi government earlier in the scheme, which was disapproved by the central government. But somehow it has started. So these are the things. And one more case which we are dealing is access, where Justice Jain was dealing with the case, and he is taking to the task all the airlines, railways, municipal authorities, government authorities, that the atmosphere and the situation is not barrier free. Large number of orders have been passed, something has happened also. But I think the problem as a lawyer is that we don't get feedback properly. We don't get feedback properly. Even if your lawyer is sincere, wants to do something, and if he is not, you see, equipped properly with the facts, with the material, then either the things will be delayed, or you are not going to get a good order. What I request you people, particularly who are non-lawyers but working on this field, that you must give full support, full feedback to your lawyer. Because as I have said in the earlier, that unless we have the true facts with us, true material, we will not be applied. Even if you have a good law, it will not be applied. It cannot be applied, and the benefit will not come to you. Therefore, a lawyer should also know the facts. Of course, as I have participated today in your meeting, in this meeting, I have been benefited. I knew a lot of things. I came to know a lot of things which earlier I was not knowing it. And I thought really it is very serious area where something should be done, not something, lot of things should be done. Similarly, lawyers should be involved in that, and the non-lawyers should be to help the lawyers. I think if these things will go, and there should be a communication between, because many people are taking up cases in different states, in Supreme Court, but there is no communication. Communication gap is very large. So I think that is why firstly there is a number of cases is very small, and whatever small number are cases, people do not know we are activists, but we don't know each other what is happening. I think that communication should be very strong amongst the lawyers and the activists, and I think this is a very good area. Of course, out of court also you have to fight. You have to fight on the roads, as Colin has suggested. But I think the courts can be used. I don't know how long you can use this court, because court is also, to my mind, is a part of the state which has a different, they represent a different class altogether. But at the moment I see that something is happening from the courts, so let us take advantage of that as long as it is possible, and make the people empowered. And you can make people empowered only when you move from court to people and people to court. If you are just confined to court and not moving to the people, then also you are not empowering. You may be empowering yourself for any reason, but you may not be empowering the people. Therefore, lawyers have also a duty. I am happy that large number of young persons are here, on which we can have a faith, and I think we can expect from them. Then they will take this fight ahead. Another thing we have, I am happy that large number of lawyers are also here. Lawyers are very important, very potential. I think they must fight very vigorously for all these sections, weaker sections people, and particularly I think this persons with disability area, and you can check out that impairments, hearing impairment area, wherever you select. Because one, I may tell you that fight in one area has a relation with fight with other. If we are fighting for implementation of the Employment Guarantee Act, it has a relation with education of the children also. So it is, of course, these all entire areas or entire sections are important, but at one time you can also concentrate on one thing so that something solid should come, because you need to have, you need to educate yourself also. So therefore you can concentrate on that, and the activist on this field should also cooperate and help the lawyer, tell him timely, correctly, and guide him. I think if we help each other, I think we will be helping the nation, and ultimately we are helping the entire people who are being deprived of ether too. Thank you very much. I think now it will be for open session, whatever it's.
Thank you, Mr. Ashok Agarwal, sir. And you have enlightened us about the Act by giving the example case by case, and you have covered almost all the parts of the Act. And I would request the audience from here to raise the questions where they have any questions on these issues.
And not only questions, people should give suggestions.
Yeah, sessions is also welcome.
Suggestions, comments, whatever.
Yes.
Actually, sir, you had made a comment about disability certificates and getting disability certificates, and one thing that I think that we should discuss, which can come actually in the session on the deaf blind, is that the deaf blind have a particular problem because they have to apply for 2 sets of certificates. At least that's what we found in Bombay, and I think that's something that we should look at, because I think there's no category for deaf blind in the current provisions in the certificates.
We have to work it out. Okay. At the moment, I can't give any reaction. I think I have also to look into that. I have also to look into that. Any other comment or suggestion or reaction or criticism or some action plan, something?
We had a problem with the railway concession form. We went to the people and asked them the doctor asked them, they said, no, you have to go there, you have to meet the other person. Then there's a huge long queue there, and they said, what is this? And they said, okay, please wait in the queue. So they waited in the queue. They said, okay, I'm here to get, I'm deaf and I'm here for the certificate. Then gave a certificate to the guy. He stamped it. He didn't put the name. He's a registered medical practitioner and just stamped it and gave it. When we went to the railway station, he said, no, this stamp we don't want. We want a different stamp. It should say something else on the stamp. Rubber stamp should say something else. So even the doctors do not know what stamp they are supposed to use to put on what certificate. Then there's a queue for the disabled people in the railway station, and don't have to sign. So then he went to buy tickets. He said, no, you're not disabled, you go there, somewhere else. He said, no, this is for only handicapped people, not for you, you go away. He said, no. He said, they keep on doing this to us, and every time we go there, we have enough stories of people being abused in this relationship like this manner. So how do we do this? Like, nobody knows what certificate to issue actually.
I think first thing I think that apart from making representation about this, wherever it is happening, we should cultivate a habit of making representation at least. Since it is a developing thing, what I understand personally, many people, it is no use of blaming all the time the authorities and the people. Bona fide, they do not know many things. Even if they understand the problem, they don't know